This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Now at 11, a looming expiration date. In 1 week, landlords will be able to start the eviction process for renters who have fallen behind on rent because of the pandemic.
This could affect thousands depending on how many people have applied for rental assistance in Indiana. Tonight, President Trump announced a wide range of executive orders designed to help with the financial impact of the pandemic, including another national moratorium on evictions. But it is not clear when that executive order will be signed or who it will apply to. And time is running out for Hoosier renters. Working for you, RTV6's Cornelius Hawker talked to Indiana Legal Services. They tell us what renters struggling should know during these tough times.
If Indiana's moratorium on evictions has been helping you and your family stay in your home, Brandon Beeler with Indiana Legal Services explains the first thing you should do.
First and foremost is to try to set up the channels of communication with your landlord.
Indiana Supreme Court, anticipating the trouble that could come once eviction protections expired, created this landlord-tenant task force to provide guidance on eviction cases. One of the best options it provides is a way to work out a repayment plan.
Landlords also understand that a lot of renters have a lot of income insecurity right now due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So these resources are good starting points.
Brandon says a repayment plan will allow renters to look into assistance programs that can help them pay what they owe. IndyRent.org is specifically for those in Marion County. For everyone else, you can go to IndianaHousingNow.org. Brandon tells me those aren't the only options.
A lot of community groups, especially faith groups, are also setting up rental assistance funds.
What you don't want to do, Brandon says, is ignore eviction proceedings. Right now, local courts have received recommendations from the state that could benefit you.
Some courts may adopt a procedure where the first hearing is simply information, and showing up may be helpful because it may be the court advising both parties, both the landlord and the tenant, to, we're not going to evict today, but we really advise you to go out into the hallway right now and try to work out a deal.
The most important thing to know, according to Brandon, is that if your landlord threatens to kick you out immediately on the 14th, they're breaking a state law.
In Indiana, landlords cannot remove tenants from their properties without a court order. So it's more than just the landlord saying you have to leave. The landlord has to file an eviction case.
If a landlord tries to evict you without going through the court process, that's when you need to reach out to groups like Indiana Legal Services. Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
And we have posted all the rental assistance information and resources in this story on the RTV6 app. The coronavirus relief package that was passed in March included an eviction moratorium that expired last month. The White House has not said what type of rental properties will be included in the president's eviction executive order or when he will sign it.
New at 11, negotiations over a new stimulus package to help struggling Americans pay their bills and boost the economy have grinded to a halt. And no more talks are planned for now. Democratic congressional leaders and the White House failed to agree on issues like unemployment benefits and funding for state and local governments. Both sides are blaming the other.
Senator Schumer and Speaker Pelosi saying that they want a deal when behind closed doors their actions do not indicate the same thing.
It's not a question of they had a good bill, we have a good bill. No, they don't have a good bill. They have a piecemeal bill.
White House negotiators say they recommend the president move ahead with executive orders. Some of the other measures President Trump announced include a payroll tax deferment for businesses and extended federal unemployment benefits, though he did not say how much.
Some businesses are getting creative to stay afloat as the pandemic continues. The local company Nameless Catering suffered a major blow when weddings and events came to an abrupt stop in March, but the company saw a new opportunity to cater to families. CEO Jeremy Brown says he's had the idea for frozen family meals for a while, but the business was always too busy with large event orders. The pandemic created the perfect storm to make the change. Tammy Wegman says the service benefits her family in several ways.
It's really made a big difference on giving me some more flexibility with timing now that everybody is home. Part of what we do at home is have the kids choose a meal once a week, and I'm not wanting to go out to the grocery store. I'm not wanting to bring our kids out right now.
There's a lot of people that are continuing to order, even though things are kind of lightening up, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. But they're just continuing to order just because it's so easy.
Nameless Catering delivers its frozen family meals within an hour of Anderson and Indianapolis. The shipping option across the state is expected to be available soon.
New tonight, Indiana State and its entire athletic conference are postponing football season due to COVID concerns. The Missouri Valley Football Conference announced the decision this evening. They say it is possible games will still be played in the spring. ISU suspended football practice and conditioning earlier this week after 6 players tested positive for coronavirus.
We've talked a lot about K through 12 students going back to school, but college students are also preparing to head to campus. And like most things, the process will be different this year. Indiana University in Bloomington is staggering move-in dates and times to promote social distancing. And all incoming IU students will be required to take a COVID test. Testing sites will be set up at the university throughout the semester. Some student athletes who are already on campus say they're making the best of the situation.
It's definitely a bummer, but thankfully, especially since we're on the team together, we have built-in friends, we're all in the same dorms, so as long as we're quarantining within ourselves, we can be safe and still have fun and still be social and everything, and we'll just have to adapt to having classes online and adapt to everything, I guess.
Obviously, in-person instruction is a bread and butter part of what we do. This is what Indiana University has always been here for, and so we wanted to make sure we could do that, and we feel like we can do it safely, following the guidelines of the CDC.
In-person class sizes have been reduced to follow CDC social distancing guidelines. Many online courses will be offered. You can find more information about COVID safety changes at all IU campuses on the university's website.
Working for you, some parents in the Carmel Clay District are sharing health and safety concerns as students prepare to return to class next week, and they're frustrated.
And you talk to the health department and they point to the schools and say we're giving them the freedom so they can be nimble, I heard yesterday. Well, it's not nimble. There's a huge loophole and the parents are caught in the gap and they have no recourse. And that, quite frankly, is unacceptable.
Stephanie Stewart tells RTV6 she wants to send her children to school, but safely. Carmel High School and middle school students were given the choice of in-person learning, completely virtual learning, or a hybrid, but elementary students were not. Stewart and another mother says there should be more options.
I just wish they would just make it 50% capacity. It would be so much more manageable. 2 days e-learning, 2 days at home. It would help the parents that work from home like me.
It seems like we're in too much of a hurry to pretend there's not a great big world event happening, and there is.
The superintendent tells RTV6 elementary students are not offered the hybrid option because school leaders believe those students can follow the guidelines set by the medical community. They did not believe high school and middle schoolers could follow the guidelines due to the number of students.
And here's what the State Department of Health says when it comes to COVID-19 among young people. 9.6% of the positive cases in Indiana were people 19 years old and younger. This is a chart of the statewide demographics for positive cases. Ages 20 through 29 make up the highest percentage at just over 18. When it comes to deaths, here are the demographics from the state. People 80 and older make up more than half of total COVID deaths in Indiana. People 19 and younger are 0.1%.
Police are working to learn what led up to violence on the south side of Indianapolis that left 1 man dead and 2 critically hurt. Officers were called to an apartment complex near Troy and Madison Avenues just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. They found 2 of the men there. The 3rd man was found riding in a car near Southport and Emerson. No names have been released.
And as we adapt to the new normal, the Rebound Indiana is working to make sure you know where to turn for support when it comes to issues like mental health and addiction. More than $1 million in federal grants will help add more peer recovery specialists to organizations across Indiana. Those specialists have personal experience with mental health or substance use disorders. They work alongside others with their recovery. Brandon George with Mental Health America of Indiana says that support is vital.
They say it takes a village, right? And that's usually referred to in raising kids, but we say it with people in recovery too. It takes a village. It takes everybody around, family, friends, community members, etc. And due to COVID, a lot of places being shut down, that's been harder and harder and harder to do.
George says a goal of the expansion is to help people easily identify recovery-focused organizations in their community. If you'd like to learn more to connect to resources, go to theindychannel.com/rebound.
Indiana veterans are getting some help to help keep their hearing sharp. Hearing aid repairs and cleanings can take a month. The Indiana Veterans Home and the Carmel company Redux took part in a pilot program to cut down on that wait time. Redux's system dries hearing devices in about 15 minutes. At least 17 veterans at the Indiana Veterans Home receive repairs for free. And while this may seem like a small service, company officials say when veterans can't hear well, it can lead to depression and dementia. The company funded the pilot program, so no tax dollars were involved. Kevin.
Mark, 72 degrees right now, a little warmer than we have been the last couple of nights. We'll detail 3 changes straight ahead for the weekend.
This is a great chance for us to reach a whole new audience of people.
With so many summer activities canceled, exploring the great outdoors is becoming more popular. Still ahead, how the federal government is supporting this trend.
And next, that's not Santa Claus making an early delivery. Why a southern Indiana man is in jail tonight after firefighters rescued him from a chimney.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Welcome back. Investigators in southern Indiana say a suspect's attempt to escape led to an unusual rescue operation. They say a 29-year-old man tried to climb up the fireplace chimney of a house in Evansville. When law enforcement officers tried to serve an arrest warrant, he ended up getting stuck. Firefighters were called to rescue him. Crews took the man to the hospital for minor injuries, then booked him into jail.
Can President Trump legally ban apps? That's the question tonight after he signed an executive order that would ban business deals with the Chinese owners of TikTok and WeChat in 45 days if they are not purchased by an American company. ABC's Zoreen Shaw has the latest on this battle.
Overnight, President Trump invoking executive action and putting the apps WeChat, the popular texting app, and the video sharing app TikTok on notice, giving American companies 45 days to either buy them or stop doing business with them. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo saying this to Fox News last month, responding to a question on whether he thought Americans should download TikTok.
Only if you want your private information in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party.
Overnight, the administration's order saying in part that the alleged data collection allows access to Americans' personal and proprietary information, potentially allowing China to track the locations of federal employees and contractors, build dossiers of personal information for blackmail, and conduct corporate espionage. But questions loom over why Trump is encouraging American company Microsoft to buy TikTok. The popular app is pushing back against the idea they're sharing information with a foreign government. Officials saying in part that the decision sets a dangerous precedent for the concept of free expression and open markets. And, quote, we have made clear that TikTok has never shared user data with the Chinese government, nor censored content at its request. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson today saying this, that the U.S. decision will only lead to moral decline, image tarnishing, and an international trust deficit, and it will eventually face the consequences itself. TikTok's influencers have been coming out in recent days, expressing fears if the app goes away.
I'm financially supporting my family because of this. I'm literally starting my career and inspiring people and changing people's lives because of this. And
even though TikTok gets a lot of attention, banning WeChat could have a bigger impact on Americans who rely on it for messaging. Americans living in China also use it to order food or to show COVID infection status. Without it, life is expected to be a lot harder. Zoreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And now for a check of our weather. Kevin, it was gorgeous tonight walking into work tonight before the show. It was just perfect.
It'll be nice walking out, and it'll be nice for the first half of the weekend. We've been on a roll here. As we mentioned, first 5 days of the month below average. Temperatures, we were still below average today, but we made it to 80 at least. We're at 72 right now. It's slightly warmer than we have been over the last couple of days, but we're still headed into the 50s in many spots. Don't forget, I do think we'll have some fog in the morning. Look at the progression of low temperatures. We'll talk about warming temps as one of the changes, and that includes obviously low temperatures. Whereas we've been so comfortable, we'll be back to closing the windows and hiding out from the increasing humidity as well. There are your temperatures tomorrow morning as the skies clear. With the light wind, we'll likely have some patchy, potentially dense fog in spots before sunrise or right around sunrise, and then we'll see improvement after that. Temperatures, they'll turn the other way once that sun starts to take over 62 at 8 a.m. Another dry day on the way. The humidity will climb and the temperatures finally get above average. 84 is our average high, our predicted high, 85 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Sunday, a little bit warmer, slightly better chance for showers and thunderstorms. It's only a 30% chance. You'll definitely notice the humidity though. Saturday, temperatures everywhere in central Indiana up and over 80 degrees and in many cases touching 85. The wind will still be light out of the south at about 5 miles per hour. That change in wind direction responsible for the warmer, more moist air moving into central Indiana. The theme in the 7-day forecast, this daily chance for showers and thunderstorms. We get back to that starting Sunday. The rain chances are better as we go through early next week. Temperature Sunday with a slight chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, 87. As you see, 7 a.m., an area of showers fading on Sunday morning. As we go into the afternoon hours, waiting for any redevelopment, could see an isolated shower or thunderstorm, as we mentioned, 4 to about 7 o'clock. Temperatures from north to south are the warmest of the weekend in the upper 80s. Here's your 7-day forecast. Overnight lows are consistently back to around 70 with that daily chance for showers and thunderstorms next week. We haven't felt like August for most of the month. It will feel like August as we get back into our routine for next week. Everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy the temperatures.
All right, thank you, Kevin. They are very nice. Victory Field is dark tonight. That has been the case for much of the year since the pandemic canceled the Indians season. But the organization is getting creative, bringing some other leagues and even other sports to the stadium. Our Brad Brown shows how in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight.
The rest of the summer will pass without any more baseball at Victory Field. But soon the crack of the bat will be replaced by a different sound.
We've got, we think, the best greens in the city out there on our field, and we thought if our crew could trim them down even tighter than they normally do for a baseball game and put some flags and some cups out there, we could create a pretty cool experience out here for everybody.
The Indians are getting set to host the Lynx at Victory Field, a 9-hole course that's something like mini golf for big kids.
This year, no Indians games. It opened up a whole new canvas of opportunities, a time where you don't really need to worry about the damage that you're doing to the field nearly as much as you normally do, time where you don't feel like you're stuck between 8 days where the team is on the road and you have to get everything piled into there.
9 tee boxes will be set up all around the stadium. It starts with the first just beyond the left field lawn, works around to the right field corner and grandstands, and finishes up behind home plate in the new Elements Financial club level.
We wanted to try to create as immersive of a fan experience as we could. So the 9 tee boxes take you all the way around a 360 panorama of Victory Field. So you get every angle of the ballpark and of downtown in your background.
To transform the ballpark into a golf course for a weekend is exciting. It's something different, something new, and this is 2020, so we're used to nothing being normal this year.
Joey Stevenson and the award-winning Indians grounds crew will be mowing 9 greens into their outfield and infield grass. Holes will be placed to create a challenging but fun course, with holes ranging from just 50 yards to 140.
So normally we mow at about an inch. Our greens will probably get down to about a ½ inch just to give that contrast. And we'll set the holes and probably paint a few bunkers out there and some hazards and maybe a couple other surprises before the fans arrive, and hopefully it's an enjoyable experience.
The game is set up so that each player gets 3 shots per hole. Your score is better based on how close you are to each of the 9 pins. It's meant to be played mostly with a 9-iron or a pitching wedge. You can bring your own clubs, or they'll have some available there at Victory Field. It is open to golfers of all ages and skill levels, and tee time reservations are on sale now. They'll be starting at 10 a.m. on August 28th, 29th, and 30th. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Groups will be spread out to allow for social distancing. It's $39 each, $140 for a foursome. They also have a premium group package available in the Yingling Landing, where you play the whole course from that spot with drink service and a private bay. All of the information can be found online at IndyIndians.com. Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Countless summer events like concerts and festivals and blockbuster movies are canceled this year. So many people are turning to nature for fun and entertainment. Scripps reporter Maya Rodriguez shows how that's helping some small businesses and how the federal government is giving the outdoor industry a boost.
For more than 2,000 miles, the Appalachian Trail winds its way through more than a dozen states. Its so-called psychological midpoint, the town of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia.
This community represents all the communities up and down the trail.
Sandy Mara heads up the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. She says ever since the pandemic began, there's been a noticeable increase in people hiking the trail.
And on any given weekday, even in the dead of summer, typically you wouldn't see anyone out on our trails. And during the week now, you could see dozens and dozens of people just hiking.
And that's something other public lands across the country are seeing too, in the time of COVID-19 and social distancing. Deborah Williams is with the Outdoor Industry Association in Colorado.
What we initially saw as a little bit of escapism in the first few weeks actually continued.
And that outdoor recreation can have a big impact on the economy. In West Virginia, for example, the outdoor industry is responsible for more than 91,000 direct jobs, $660 million in local and state tax revenue, and $9 billion in consumer spending. Across the country, it all adds up to $887 billion in consumer spending, supporting 7.6 million jobs. And Williams says there's the potential for that to grow even more in every state across America, in part because of federal funding from the new Great American Outdoors Act, just passed by Congress and signed into law by the president.
It will fully fund the Land and Water Conservation Fund to the tune of $900 million. So this is our country's really flagship mechanism for funding conservation and maintenance of our public lands and waters.
Back at the Appalachian Trail,
the resource was being overwhelmed.
Sandy Mara hopes people now rediscovering the outdoors take care to protect it as well.
This is a great chance for us to reach a whole new audience of people. This is their park, right? So they get to use it and enjoy it, but they also have a responsibility to it.
So that future generations get to experience what's great about the great outdoors. In Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, I'm Maya Rodriguez.
If you are looking for a convenient way to give back to the community, there's an easy way to donate this weekend. The Salvation Army and Walmart are teaming up to collect school supplies as part of their annual Stuff the Bus event. You'll see donation bins outside of 16 Walmart stores across central Indiana.
We would love for the public to be, as they have been in the past, generous, to purchase additional school supplies. Sometimes you're going to purchase for your own children, and you can afford one more backpack or one more box of pencils or markers to purchase and then drop it right here in our collection bins at the participating Walmarts around central Indiana.
Donations will be collected through Sunday. Supplies will stay in the local community. Kevin.
Sunshine and your Saturday will go together. That's after a little morning fog, but temperatures warm to 85 with a light south wind and a touch more humidity. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate it, and we hope all of you have a safe weekend as well. We want to thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll leave you now with this live look outside. Have a good night, everybody.